show about new music in Iceland, and then just this and that.
I work at a music service called Gogo Yoko, and it's an online music store and a streaming service.
Home is where I feel comfortable and can be everywhere where I'm around good people.
But I'd say home is Iceland. Although you might have like little homes around the planet, home is not necessarily where you're located yourself. You know, let's say if you're located in a foreign country or something like that, you go back home to where you come from or where your family is.
It means you're stuck in an island in the Nordic Ocean, and you come from a small group of people who lived here for 2,000 years. And then you're connected to nature because you live here. We are part of a small community, so that yeah, I don't know, but I'm not sure if that's better or worse. It's probably both. So and the weather has like the weather and the isolation that. So maybe that has affected like art. So we're like.
And the thing about Christmas in Iceland, because it's so dark and cold and miserable, that we make Christmas so special and so holy. And it's like everyone, makes the most out of Christmas, just to bring a little, light in this season, to make it more bearable. So yeah, darkness is also something probably internal for some people. Darkness, yeah, the sun doesn't come up, so it's just dark through the whole day, through the whole night in the winter time. It's darkness, and like pride of of that aspects of the country, the nature and purity of our resources, the water, the air. We grew up listening to music and discovering bands and yeah, a big part of our friendship is our mutual love for music and to be in connection with your inhibited self, say your child self, not the grown-up critic, so you have to like take that apart, when you're creating, you allow your child to do whatever it wants. We become more in touch with our true self, without society or values or judgment inhibiting that.
A Kauri lo conocí en Buenos Aires, un par de años después de la crisis. Trabajaba para un periódico de Islandia y me hizo una entrevista sobre la crisis argentina.
I was born in Denmark. I never understood why my parents had moved back here when they had escaped. Everybody was so excited about going abroad because they were going on vacations, but I thought it was so exciting to get away from here. So I never understood why they had been living in Denmark and decided to come back here. It made no sense. So immediately when I was 20 and I finished gymnasium, I moved to Germany and lived there for 2 years, and then I lived in Argentina for some time and traveled a lot. it's not really a big issue when you're living in the island. It's only when you go away from the island and you've been staying away for some time, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 months, then it starts to hit me always that I'm living next to Greenland, that I'm living at the edge of the inhabitable world, and that I'm actually living in an island, and that I have the opportunity when I live, for example, in Germany or somewhere else, to get on a train and just travel or drive somewhere. It's not an opportunity that I have to make a use of, but to have it present is a feeling that's very exciting. Part of it is that if your island is Iceland, you have only one city. The other city is Akureyri, and it has 16,000 inhabitants. So if you want to travel somewhere in Iceland, you cannot go to another country, you cannot even go to another city, you can only go out into the countryside, which is exciting, but it's not an alternative to the city. It's another kind of a feeling. It's very easy for me to know what I don't like in Iceland. It's 3 things, and they are connected. Arrogance and constant somehow advertising or advertising and trying to get people in one group to do some certain things, and that this is the fashion now, that this is the present, this is happening, you have to follow this. There's not a buffer. It's a very vulnerable society culturally and fashion and politics and other. The arrogance and the lies manifest themselves in that we refuse to be who we are. We are living on the edge of the civilized world. There are very few people here, and we really struggle to accept that Greenland is the closest neighbor to Iceland. I think there is some tendency to not try to deny the existence of Greenland, because it's our next door neighbor. It's a continent covered with ice, where there live 50 or 60,000 people, and we long to look towards Europe, that we are the closest neighbor to the UK or to Scandinavia, but we are not. We're really living on the edge when you look at it geographically.
Helgi es como un amigo de cualquier barrio porteño, una persona de extrema generosidad, de mucho cuidado por el otro. Creo que es un islandés de pura cepa. Recuerdo la primera vez que lo vi, en mi primera visita, me había ido a buscar al aeropuerto, una gran sonrisa que luego se prolongaría a través de una década. Parecía como si nos hubiéramos conocido desde siempre.
We never really say in Icelandic that I'm now going to travel around the island or through the island or on the island. We always say I'm going to travel through the land. It's easy to approach the government, it's easy to approach people who are in charge. And I think also one other thing that is positive about Icelanders, that we experience ourselves as a family. I mean, we praise equality and liberty, and we perceive ourselves as being equal. So I think that's kind of one of the most positive things about Iceland, that we are kind of in the same boat, so to speak. Well, the negative aspect of being an Icelander is maybe is something has to do with that we are so few that you'll have to be able to kind of work through the things yourself, but we cannot really specialize much, and that can sometimes be a negative aspect, but of course it is positive in the sense of it broadens your personality. You will have to be able to do a lot of different things, different skills. You have to acquire many different skills in order for you to kind of survive in a sense, you know. So, and I think it's good in a sense for you, you know, to be able to understand many different aspects and walks of life. Very important to Icelanders is equality and independence. You can be different. You don't have to be like everybody else, and also it's an industrious people. It's people who we work towards goals in an independent way, and we value do things in your own way, and being tolerant and equality, and it helps you find your own way. And you can also rely on others. People tend to also stick together during hard times. We tend to unite on different occasions. There is nationalism here, and it's a healthy nationalism. It is that people stand together, and also Icelanders, we are proud. We are proud to be Icelanders, and we always are concerned about what others feel about us, what foreigners, what they say about us, how they think about us. So we kind of look at ourselves as being kind of special people, but at the same time, being so few and so far away, we sometimes have some sort of an inferiority complex. So in a way, we sometimes think we are kind of maybe superior, being apart and different from others. But sometimes we really feel concerned that maybe we are not that special. Maybe we are inferior to others because we are so far away and so isolated, and of course living in these harsh natural conditions, you know, and that we are not like many other people in the south where it's warmer and nicer. My hope for Iceland is that we can join other nations, other people, and our goal should be, to create a society and a world of equality and respect. At the same time, that we in Iceland can somehow hold to our own characteristics, our own values, and be sort of independent, to somehow join these kind of somehow contradictory features, being a nation of the world, a nation in the world, with others in the world, striving towards equality and justice, but do it at the same time as we are able to hold to our own values and our own way of life here in Iceland.
Autonomy. Sjálfstæði og því.
Independence.
Já. Og hvað þýðir þá autonomy?
Autonomy sjálfræði, þegar maður ræður yfir sig sjálfur.
Já. Það er vandrænt að tala um það. Nei, þú veist, það er ekki vandrænt að segja eða skilur.
Já, það er náttúrulega vitlaust.
Já. I'm thinking of how I can... Is it rolling?